So this video is all about Hathor, the goddess of sacred sexuality. She's the goddess of love, unconditional love, joy, dance, festivities, music, all of the above. And she's a creator goddess because she's the goddess of the womb. So there's like massive creation codes that flow through you when you work with this beautiful goddess, because she will help you birth something into being. Now, she's one of the oldest goddesses as well. You know, she's definitely up there, and it's kind of like, yeah, I would say that she's older than Isis and all of the above. So, you know, and also the love interest of Horus as well. So I suppose really you could call her like the daughter-in-law of Isis. I mean, it's all very connected, isn't it, really? But in truth, they were love interests, Hathor and Horus, because Horus, going into his story, he lost his left eye through avenging his father's death through his uncle Set. And through battle, he lost his left eye. And Hathor, with her beautiful healing milk, because she's a cow goddess as well, she healed that eye of his. And there was this just beautiful union and connection that those two had. So there's a beautiful love story that goes with the two of them. So let me just step aside so you can actually see these cow ears. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Hathor looks like. This is kind of traditional look for Hathor. And when you're in the Temple Dendera, this is what it looks like when you're on the columns. The columns are like the big pillars in a temple, and the column section in her Temple Dendera is stunning, outstanding, beautiful. And you will see kind of like this image of her on each and every column. But let me just step aside so you can see. I mean, she's beautiful, isn't she? And her face also represents the fallopian tubes of the female's womb. But she is also depicted as well. You will also see her on hieroglyphs, which have her as obviously a human goddess. So you'll see her in woman form, and she'll have these cow horns. And inside of the cow horns, there is the sun disk. Now, that is the sun disk of Ra, because she's the daughter of Ra, which is the supreme god, as is Sekhmet. So there's a massive connection between Hathor and Sekhmet because they're kind of one of the same. Now, Sekhmet also has the sun disk above her head. She's also the daughter of Ra, because, like I say, these two, they're not sisters, but they are aspects of one of the same. Meaning, Hathor's all about love and beauty and sensuality, sexuality, all of the above. And when the people stopped worshipping Ra, Ra said to his daughter Hathor, go and remind the people, like who I am, because they're losing their way and they're not living by Ma'at. Now, Ma'at was a goddess, or is a goddess of that represents cosmic order, truth, balance, and yeah, she's all about living by her 42 laws. So if you uphold Ma'at, which Sekhmet and Hathor did, you made sure that there were kind of like, it's kind of a little bit judicial, you made sure that the people lived by Ma'at, and that is our job in this life as well. Living by Ma'at is basically that integrity, living by joy and bringing joy to others, in their life. That is one of the questions that you'll be asked when you drop the body and you are waiting, being granted the afterlife. That is what you would get asked in the weighing of the heart ceremony, which is a whole thing that happens when one drops the body and wants to go on to that afterlife in the Egyptian understanding. So coming back to that, because that's a whole lot of mythology and we can certainly go on a lot of rabbit holes there, but I'm going to keep it Hathor. So now coming back to Hathor, when she was asked by her father, go remind the people of what's going on here, there was a lot of anger and rage that came up through Hathor when she saw that the people were just basically up to naughtiness. And she was like, oh my God, this is just outrageous. You've lost your spirit, you've lost your connection to source, you've lost your connection to Ra. And then this anger and this fury came out from inside her. And that was when Sekhmet was born. And Sekhmet was the one that stepped out of her, and she became this powerful lion goddess. And, this is like why she's known as the goddess of war. And a lot of people were fearful of her because she ended up just like killing and slaughtering and just, bringing the people to their knees, and she couldn't stop. So what actually happened was Ra had to send a big pretend barrels of blood, because Sekhmet just wanted blood. and it was actually full of beer. And so she ended up drinking it, thinking it was blood, and ended up getting very drunk and then just passing out. And then kind of like, I suppose after that all calmed down, Hathor once what stepped in once again. But that was in a very, very short, like, story. That is kind of like how Sekhmet came into the mix. So now, like with Sekhmet and her fire, right? There's fire, that's the operative word. But then when you look at Hathor, she's all about unconditional love. I mean, she's completely different to Sekhmet, isn't she? And she is just like, she's heart, pure heart, and obviously womb. But that now like her heart represents water. Now we're working with the elements of water, and Sekhmet the element of fire. So what I find so powerful about Hathor is the one that really, really governs the powerful process of when I work with the Heka codes. So the Heka codes, if you don't know, go and have a look at the videos on the channel. But the Heka codes is in short a very, very powerful transformative process working with 3 Egyptian creator gods, where one is an idea. So you bring the idea, perception, have to have a vision to be able to manifest. The second one is the second stage is about working with Hu, the god Hu, where you bring the idea into physical form. You start to build it, you start to bring it into a reality. And then when you get to Heka, the god of magic and medicine, of course, that's what does it look like in the world? It's now manifest. But that middle stage, so you have the idea, that middle stage where you're bringing something into being, you're starting to manifest. This is where Hathor steps in. Hathor is so powerful when she comes in through Heka, because she will help you push this birthing process. And you will birth your idea and into the world, and she will help you with that. So the first stage of that alchemical experience, as it were, with the Heka codes, it's always Sekhmet that comes in first, because she's got to burn all of the stuff away, which are like shadow, low vibrational thoughts of just like not believing in yourself, all of the negative belief systems. Sekhmet comes in and tears it all down, just like the story I explained to you. And then, of course, once we've gone through all the shadows of self, which you have doubt in who you are, and that, as a manifester and a creator being, then you get past to Hathor, because then the idea starts to get spit and polished, and it's very high frequency. And Hathor now takes you in, because now your heart is open, your womb is open, even if you're a man, because we obviously, as women, have real wombs. And we also have the sacral chakra, which would be deemed the energetic womb of a man, I suppose, So we birth through that space, because in that space is the divine balance between masculine and feminine. And that is like unconditional love. Now, you can only really, truly live in unconditional love as a Christed one, as Hathor, is when you are in that balance, and when you have come into that kind of union. Do you know what I mean? Because like unconditional love can only truly come once you've really, really come into your heart codes. And that is what Hathor will help you with. So I want to talk about that union just a little bit more now, because she has a deep connection with Horus as well. In the mythology, she was his love, basically, full stop, exclamation mark, you know what I mean? But she was his love. And then what she helped him with, because she's so connected to the cow, okay, she's a cow goddess. And the reason for that is because she would bring the purity of the cow's milk, which would nurture and mother and heal. So she actually healed Horus's eye, which got damaged in battle, with her cow's milk. And that was very much about nurturing the love and all of the wholeness that can be felt when you're fed from the mother energy, when you're healed like that. And that is how she healed Horus's eye. So there's such a beautiful divine pair when you connect those together. So when you work with Hathor, expect to go in different directions and be shown Sekhmet. If you didn't know about Sekhmet and you only knew Hathor, expect to have Horus turn up, because it's all kind of like intertwined. And of course, you have Isis, who's also a midwife, as is Hathor. Now, her temple, which I speak a lot about in the temple tutorials, which is the other video series, in her temple, okay, there is a beautiful birthing chamber, and her temple is like one big galactic spaceship. For those that are watching this video who are coming to Egypt with me, because that's why these videos are out there, so you can do your temple tutorials and know your Neteru. For those that are coming to Egypt with me, when you walk in there, you will feel the vibration of those temples, like, that particular temple. Dendera is Hathor's temple, and it means light. And when you walk in there, you can feel the vibration of the cosmos within you. It's like a living, breathing spaceship. It's quite something that cannot be verbalized, and quite something that needs to be experienced in the energy. Because when you step in, when oh my God, it's just, yeah. when you have a bit of a expectancy of these star codes, and then you walk in to the physical temple itself in real time, it is unbelievable. Probably one of my most favorite temples when it comes to the galactic connection. So now with Hathor talking about the stars now, her whole temple is about the zodiac. She is the goddess of the stars. She is the cosmic goddess, right? Now the seven sisters, okay, which is known as the Pleiades, the star system Pleiades. The seven Hathors is the seven sisters. So that is a connection to the stars right there. So even though we're talking about Hathor being one goddess, they are actually a collective. The Hathors are a collective indeed. So you may be taken through the portal of Hathor into channeling and connecting with the Hathors as many of them, because there are more than one, right? So this is what I love about working with this goddess, because I think all gods and beings, for me, as we all come from the stars. That's my belief system. That's my gospel of Marie. I believe that to be true. So now with every god and goddess, it's the same. But Hathor particularly will take you to that star connection, which I just love. Now, when I journey with Hathor, and this is just something I want to suggest to you, she takes me all the way back to Lemuria, right? So we go back towards beyond the times of Atlantis. Many of us are connected to Atlantis, especially if you're watching this video, Egypt and all those vibes. That's very, very much a lot of our connection right now, because we are in the golden age of Aquarius, which means we are all about the, sort of like the technology, as it were. And Atlantis was all about that. However, Atlantis was masculine, but Lemuria was a divine feminine. So if we can go back, imagine you're going all the way back on a stream of consciousness. So you've gone past Atlantis. Now you go back before that, you go back to Lemuria, okay? And you go back to the divine feminine, because it's very, very feminine, Lemuria was. And that is where, I mean, this is just, like I say, gospel to Marie. You may have something different, but as I believe it, our very, very, very first incarnation in the world would have been that as a woman, okay? Because it was the Palladian mothers, aka the Hathors, that encoded our beings with that primary frequency, because everything has to come from the mother first of all, even the men. So we had men with us in those lifetimes, and they very much supported us. The divine dynamic between divine masculine and feminine was pretty much instilled, encoded within our beings by the Pleiadians, by the Hathors, by Hathor, and so on and so forth. So that's just a little bit of a wormhole you might want to go into and research and channel and meditate and see what comes up for you. But this is like land of the first time, Zep Tepi. So that's kind of why I love Hathor, because she takes me on wormholes and do you know what? Let's talk about wormholes and tunnels. Her temple is very much like that. And that's what I love about it. You have to spend the whole day. So when we go to Egypt and we do the tablets of light tour, I make sure we have the whole day there, or as much as we can, some hours, because it takes some exploring. So women in real time back in the ancient Egyptian times used to go there. The women, just like now, that couldn't get pregnant, those that were going to have a difficult pregnancy and possibly birth, they would go there and they would gain assistance through the magic, through the healing, through the temple priestesses of Dendera. And the grandmother of Jesus spent a very long time in this temple here, as she was a high priestess of the Sekhmet teachings, and obviously Hathor. But she was in because the Dendera temple is big, and it was very much a place of learning and teaching. So she spent a long time there. So you will feel all these different frequencies come in. So if you feel Anna and a crossover to the Holy Family and everything like that, absoluto, this is where you're going to feel it. So be open to everything. I mean, magic and medicine, what's not to love? So this is what you'll feel when you walk into Temple Dendera. So when we come to this place, it can bring you so much. I mean, you could actually need healing in your own physical body. That might be why tablets of light calls you in, so you can receive that kind of healing. You may need a womb activation if you are struggling with creation codes. You may need a sacral chakra activation if you're a man or whatever, because you need to birth something through. So there's deep significance in every single temple and every single god and goddess I work with in the tablets of light. We have an intention. So when we go there, she will gift you exactly what it is that is needed for you to step into this world as a leader, way shower, pioneer, visionary, landing the codes through your being, because there has to be an embodiment with that to be able to emanate your frequency and guide others in the world to do the same. So she is We need another 2 hours on this video for me to talk about this goddess, but she holds a lot of medicine. And I feel that she is a very, very powerful factor and governess of the Tablets of Light tour for this reason, because we are all conscious creators and we are all alchemists. And then, like I say, you will oscillate between Sekhmet, who we know is Marie's favorite, between the two. And when we have that infinity symbol, then it's powerful. So as I say, when we're on the tour, we go and see Sekhmet as well. So then that there could be just a direct connection. All the other temples could be really cool and amazing for you, but there may be a really big activation once you've gone to Temple Dendera, and then we go to Sekhmet, to her chapel, you know. So, but anyway, this is what the Tablets of Light is all about. It unlocks, it activates, and unleashes your core power, and that's what it's all about. So this is Hathor. Thank you for watching and receiving those codes. Peace.